if you try to downplay it because you're like, oh, I don't know if that could happen again. No, you're just being present with the little things that line up and allowing the happiness to seep in and allowing the presence to be there. Hello there, and welcome to Holistic Ambition, where we talk with visionary leaders who are redefining what it means to be successful. We cover ways that you can live with more well-being, meaning, and fun in your career, business, and relationships. I'm your host, Stephanie Thoma, life coach for ambitious professionals and author of Confident Introvert. Today, we are talking about something that is so under the radar, you could easily miss it. You could easily not notice it. So there's this concept that has shown up in my life in a few ways, and it's probably shown up in yours as well. And I like to call it mundane miracles. So I know these two terms are seemingly on opposite ends of the spectrum. One is miraculous, one is amazing. The other is like, meh, okay, whatever, moving along, easy to dismiss. So let's break down what a mundane miracle is. A mundane miracle is something that's small that happens that can easily be overlooked. They're the everyday things that are so easy to take for granted. However, when you give them attention, they amplify into an upward spiral. An upward spiral, I go into this concept as well. It's this idea that when things are going great, you give your time, energy, and attention to it loosely and allow things to keep getting better. But again, back to this mundane miracle, it's allowing yourself to notice the synchronicities and really allowing them to soak into you, to really revel and enjoy and appreciate. Gratitude is a key word, is a key concept of mundane miracles. And they tend to have a compound effect. So let me tell you a story before I go into that piece. So there was one day back when I was a digital nomad, I was living in San Diego, going on a walk with a friend. And for some reason, I just felt compelled. I was voicing a lot of desires. We were talking about things that we were calling into our lives. And I said pretty nonchalantly, I would really love to receive flowers. And, I mentioned how I typically buy myself flowers all the time, but you know what? I would like to receive them from someone else. And about one block later, so we're walking, then we get to a park. We're at the park. This man walks up to us with 2 mini bouquets of flowers and gives us each a bouquet. and immediately we're just kind of like surprised. My friend looks at me and says, "You're magic." And I'm like, the power of intention. And so there's something mundane about that. If you're used to having flowers in your life, it could be considered mundane, but it's a miracle when things line up, when there are synchronicities where you say something, when you think of someone, and then it enters your reality in some way, shape, or form. For sure, you've had an experience where you're thinking of someone and they call you, or, just those things that you can't quite wrap your head around at times, but especially when it's something that feels amazing or good, it's what I would call a mundane miracle. And, some people could write these instances off as coincidences. Do we believe in coincidences? I mean, surely if there's no meaning behind them, then yeah, that's a coincidence. However, if you choose to have a miracle mindset in which mundane miracles exist, then you bet there's a meaning behind it. And sometimes you get to find the meaning. Sometimes you get to decide and create the meaning for yourself. And I always like to err on the side of, if you're going to meaning make, err on the side of giving people the benefit of the doubt, of assuming positive intention and that you are worthy of what you want. Right? Because I'm sure, let's talk about this flower example. There could be someone in the world who that happens to, and they say, but no, I actually would like it from a romantic interest. Or, there could be someone that gushes and like loses their, what, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. I'm kind of an advocate, have whatever experience comes naturally to you. But being able to have a sort of quiet confidence, and this is kind of woven throughout my work, you may notice, where you're like, oh, that's really nice that happened. I'm just going to let that soak in. And, that way you're not building it up to the point where, oh my goodness, like maybe there's even a little tinge of fear in that super exuberant display or reaction, unless it comes naturally to you, see how it feels. But then if you try to downplay it because you're like, oh, I don't know if that could happen again. No, you're just being present with the little things that line up and allowing the happiness to seep in and allowing the presence to be there and allowing consecutive moments to unfold from that energy. And this brings us to the compound interest. You may have heard in personal finance and other types of finance, there's this concept that when you put money aside, let's say in a certain, I'm not going to go into too many specifics here, but let's say you put money aside in a high yielding savings account or, some other sort of mechanism, and you will actually have so much more after, let's say 20 years than 10 years if you put the same amount in at either time, right? So there's this same concept that can be applied to our lives when it comes to gratitude, which is the fuel of mundane miracles and keeping them coming your way. So yeah, it's this idea that the joy that you allow yourself to access begins to build up over the years, and you become one of those people that other people in your life notice as being, they seem to attract opportunities. They seem to attract invitations. They seem to be happy. And let people think what they will about happy people. But, not to say that you don't experience other emotions, but isn't it nice to have your baseline be a sense of calm and happiness? I mean, sign me up for that. Okay. So yeah, I'd love to, hear, or if you want to just contemplate a mundane miracle that's happened recently. And maybe when something happens where you're like, a little spark of joy. Wait, what if you allowed that to soak in and amplify itself? All right. So that's what I have for you today. Wishing you so many mundane miracles to come. I would like to thank you for watching and consider this your invitation to be the very first to know of the next Holistic Ambition speaker in our series by liking, subscribing, go ahead and comment if you're on YouTube, all that good stuff. Wishing you a beautiful day. Until next time.